जय गोपीजन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदनन्दन जय व्रज जनरञ्जन जय यशोदनन्दन जय व्रज जनरञ्जना जय यमुनातिरवनचारी जय कुञ्ज बिहारी जय कुञ्ज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा हरे रामा राम राम हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ राधे जय निताय पतित पावन गौर हरि जय निताय पतित पावन गौर हरि गौर हरि जय निताय पतित पावन गौर हरि जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोकैर्भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपाकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. So today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 13, which is entitled as Descriptions of Descendants of Dhruv Maharaj. We are reading text 39. Give me 1 second. I'll zoom in a little. से बाला एव पुरुषो मातामहम् अनुव्रतः अधर्मा मासो दम sorry the bhavam mrityum अधर्मांशो भवं मृत्युम तेना भावात् अधार्मिकः सबला एव पुरुषो मातामहम् अनुव्रतः अधर्मां सोब्ध भावं मृत्युम तेन भावात् अधार्मिकः सबला एव पुरुषो मातामहम् अनुव्रतः अधर्मां सोद्भवं मृत्युम तेन भवात् अधार्मिकः. Anyone would like to recite? सबल एव पुरुषो मातामहम् अनुव्रतः अधर्मां सोद्भवं मृत्युम तेन भवत् अधार्मिकः. सबल एव पुरुषो मातामहम् अनुव्रतः अधर्मां सोद्भवं मृत्युम तेन भावात् अधार्मिकः. माताजी. सबल एव पुरुषो मातामहम् अनुव्रतः अधर्मां सोद्भवं मृत्युम तेन भवात् अधार्मिकः. Synonym saha, that, balaha, child, eva, certainly, purusha, male, matamaham, maternal grandfather, anuvrataha, a follower of, adharma, of irreligion, amsha, from a portion, udbhavam, who appeared, mrityum, death, tena, by this, abhavad, he became, adharmikaha, irreligious. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The boy was born partially in the dynasty of irreligion. His grandfather was death personified, and boy grew up as his follower. He became a greatly irreligious person. Purport: the child's mother, Sunita, was the daughter of death personified. Generally, the daughter receives the qualification of her father, and the son acquires those of her mother. So, according to axiomatic truth, that things equal to the same thing are equal to one another. The child born of King Anga became the follower of his maternal grandfather. According to Smriti Shastra, a child generally follows the principles of his maternal uncle's house. Naranam Matula Karma means that a child generally follows the qualities of his material family. If the material family is very corrupt or sinful, the child, even though born of a good father, becomes a victim of the maternal family. According to Vedic civilization, therefore, before the marriage takes place, an account is taken of both the boys and girls' families. If, according to astrological calculation, the combination is perfect, then marriage takes place. Sometimes, however, there is a mistake and family life becomes frustrating. It appears that King Anga did not get a very good wife in Sunita because she was the daughter of death personified. Sometimes the Lord arranges, very important statement, sometimes the Lord arranges an unfortunate wife for his devotee so that gradually, due to family circumstances, the devotee becomes detached from his wife and home and makes progress in devotional life. It appears that by arrangement of Supreme Personality of Godhead, King Anga, although a pious devotee, got an unfortunate wife like Sunita, and later on, bad child like Vena. But the result was that he got complete freedom from the entanglement of family life and left home to go back to Godhead. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुक्कुं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम् Hare Krishna. So I'm sitting amongst Paramhamsas, Krishna Kumar Prabhu, our dearest, always blissful Krishna Kumar Prabhu gave a wonderful class yesterday. We have Advait Pran Prabhu, Sham Kishore Prabhu, and wonderful devotees here to seek all of your blessings. When we go to school, we learn 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. However, the material world doesn't work that way. We see we can't predict 2 plus 2 will bring us 4. And it is beautifully mentioned by Srila Prabhupada in its purport. King Anga, his desire or he got married thinking that everything sublime is going to happen, which means 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. But when unfortunate situation happens, when the right match doesn't come, then the outcome is something way different than anticipated. And that's how this material world is designed. Ah Brahma Bhuvana Loka. Whether we go to the heavenly planet, whether we go to Brahma Loka, whether we live in material world, or even we live in heavenly planet, it's filled with miseries. What kind of misery is designed for whom? We can't predict. What is coming on our way, we can't predict. Here, King Anga is not getting the sun. Prabhu was reading yesterday. Finally, he got the sun. Without even his understanding, the outcome is way different. It is more miserable than not having the sun. We see, not very similar, but at the same time, kind of on a similar line, King Chitraketu was looking for a son. Praying, I finally need the sun. And the Angira Muni says, no, you can't get the sun. But somehow he desires and he gets the sun. What happens? He's gone in some time and he's miserable. So whatever situation we are in material world, it is designed to give us suffering. Sorry, I apparently seems like, oh, you always give pessimistic class. You always talk about this material world is miserable place, but that's a reality. The earlier we understand it is better. So we read Srimad Bhagavatam. It's not like a girl and boy coming together, getting married, and happily living after, ever after. None of those pastimes are like that. It is filled with turbulences, it is filled with those challenges. But in those challenges, how we come out of it, that is actually bhakti. So does not guarantee that bhakti is not a license, or bhakti does not guarantee that whole spiritual life or whole material life is going to be perfect. Like I remember when, sorry for sharing my personal experience, but I don't have anything much to share on that. When when my wife got a lung transplant and went through so much difficulty, finally she got the lungs and she was on the altar, and I was thinking about it. Wow, I think our quota is over. And never to realize when again it hit, it was really hard paining and very difficult to actually think about it, and especially again starting the same game of life. So I was just thinking about it. So what is the ultimate focus, what is the ultimate smaranam, what is the ultimate focus one should have is, I was just my daughter, while I was dropping her to the school, that's why I got late, she played a song, Lord Chaitanya's moon is rising. No, it's not at all surprising. Telling everyone we meet, going home. What is home here? The home is not where we are living right now. We have changed so many homes. We have done, like I spoke last time, we have done multiple check-ins and multiple checkouts before coming here. Nishkinchanatha Prabhu was just telling yesterday, his boss is saying not to go to work, not to go to Vrindavan. He's coming for yatra. And I was just I don't know how, out of blue, just something came to my mind. So many lifetimes we had one or the other excuses. I cannot go. How much we don't belong here. We belong to Vrindavan. That is our eternal home. What is Lord Chaitanya saying? Dole dole gaura chan, Hari guna gai. Asiya Vrindavane, Asiya Vrindavane, Nache Gaurara. That beautiful personality is dancing in Vrajabhumi, and that is our eternal home. All this is temporary. And that is the important aspect. So when we come to bhakti, when we come in material world, we are filled with exams. So I was just hearing this beautiful class, and I just wanted to share a few thoughts around that part. And I'll just stop sharing so that, yeah, okay, thank you. So we hear this aspect of life is a preparation, death is an exam. That aspect is definitely true, but life itself is also filled with exams. That is an ultimate exam, but we have those minor tests. We may call it as minor, for me those are majors, but whatever it is. So we talk about the life is filled with exams, and what is the qualification or what is the criteria for passing through these exams is what we want to discuss here. So when we talk about these exams of life, one of the important point during Kartik month, this whole month, a lot of devotees take the vow to take austerity or perform certain additional activities. Then they are doing it regularly in bhakti. So it's like I was just saying, Janmashtami is one day, Radhashtami is one day, Kartik month is whole month. Why? Because that is our test of dedication. That is a test of our commitment. And one of the first principle or one of the exam which is tested during Kartik month is our memory test. This is 5M philosophy. So memory test, which is Smriti. What is it we think about in spiritual life is how many Mangala Aartis did I attend? Like when I came to Krishna consciousness, we had a sadhana card. We would fill in how many rounds am I chanting? Of course, 16. What time are you chanting? And there was a gradation before 9, between 9 to 12, 12 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, and after 9. And then how many classes you are hearing and how much you are reading. So we put everyday minutes, and based on what you're chanting, for an example, if you're chanting before 9, you get 5 marks. 9 to 3, 9 to 12, 4 marks, then 3, and after 9 o'clock, it's only 1 mark in the night. So at the end of the month, we will produce that and give it to our counselor. So basically, when before we go for initiation, they assess how does your sadhana before going there. So we may think about it just filling a sadhana card, but that is definitely important. But ultimate test is smaranam. What are we doing when we are performing these activities, while cooking, while performing various activities, while performing arati, while offering every day diya to Shri Radha Damodar, Yashoda Damodar? What is our smaranam? And that is an important situation. For an example, there is this beautiful pastime which happens when we talk about a home is Vrindavan. Let's talk about something. What is Vrajavasi's mood? What is Vrindavan is looking like? So one of the Gopi, Ashtasakhi, Indulekha, one time is doing the combing the hair and actually decorating Srimati Radharani. And Krishna plays the flute. And when Krishna plays the flute, Srimati Radharani hastily tells, I have to go, I have to go. Krishna is calling through the flute. And then Indulekha says, it's not over. I have to still decorate you. She said, no, I have to go. And she goes and meets Krishna. And Krishna, when he sees Srimati Radharani, he says, something is missing. And then, oh yeah, you did not apply kajal in your eyes. So there was a shila next to Krishna. He massaged the shila and applied the kajal in the eyes of Srimati Radharani. So when we hear these pastimes, they are very, very enriching to our heart. But how do we actually take these pastimes and think about Vrajabhumi, think about Vrajavasis, thinking about Krishna and Srimati Radharani? We actually, whenever we see Kajal, this applies to Mataji, it doesn't apply to Prabhu, but just sharing for the thoughts. How is Krishna decorating Srimati Radharani? When we think about fasting, we think about how Lakshmanji is fasting entire 14 years. When we think about, we go through difficulties in our life, we remember Kunti Maharani, how much they went through, Pandavas, how much they went through. So ultimate test about whatever we hear, whatever we read, whatever we perform in spiritual life is to actually contemplate on that and actually think in every aspect of our life. I was hearing my spiritual master's class. No, sorry, Amrendra Prabhu, he was beautifully mentioning Krishna and Balram. They are same. They are similar. They both are God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, one is Swayam Bhagwan, another is Dasa Bhagwan. Balramji is in a mood of servant. The second difference is that Krishna is like Ghansham, the rain cloud, and Balramji is like a spring cloud. Today, it is a rainy season. It's a rainy day, sorry, not season. Rainy day, you see those beautiful clouds. Reminds me of Krishna. Yesterday was a beautiful sunny day, and there were beautiful cloud formations. It reminds us of Balram. So the whole test is around how do we remember Krishna. And we see Brajavasis not even for a single moment forget Krishna. When Krishna is getting ready to go to the forest for herding the cows, the Gopas, the cows are waiting. The cows do not give milk until they see Krishna. They want to see Krishna and then they give milk. And Gopas are waiting outside. They actually practically Very early in the morning, before even Krishna get up, they are waiting outside and calling Krishna, Krishna, please come, Krishna, please come. That is the eagerness, that's the laulium they have. We want to see Krishna because the whole night just passed in separation of Krishna. And here Yashoda Maya, wake after Krishna woke up, she is making him bath, singing about his glories. While churning the butter, she's singing about his glories, thinking about his pastimes. And then Krishna is getting ready, and Yashodama is asking 10 times, Ye diya, did I give you lunch? Did I pack properly? Did I give you a spoon? So she is just thinking about it. And when he's coming out, then the devotees, the Vrajavasis who are sitting at home, or the cows or calves who are very young cannot go, they are feeling separation from Krishna. And they are thinking about Krishna, what Krishna will be doing right now, what Krishna will be doing right now. Like one time Srila Prabhupada was asked, Prabhupada, what are you meditating on? I'm seeing what is there in Krishna. What did Yashoda Maya cook for Krishna today? What is in Krishna's tiffin today? So when we open a tiffin, when we get a lunchbox, oh, what is Yashoda Maya's consciousness? What is Prabhupada's consciousness? What is there in Krishna's lunchbox rather than thinking about what is there in my lunchbox? What is there in my plate? Just thinking about myself. So there is a beautiful prayer. Bilvamangal Thakur writes actually, these gopis are even in every activity they are doing. What they do is they actually sell buttermilk, they sell butter, they sell milk. So when they go to Mathura, they sing. What they sing, rather than saying, take the milk, take the butter, they are saying, please take Damodar, 1 kg Damodar, 1 kg Murari, please take. They are just saying, their tongue is so addicted. Like Rupa Goswami says, I wish I have millions of tongues. So their tongues are so addicted to chant the name of Krishna, thinking about Krishna, thinking about so many names of Krishna. There is another thing which happens in Bilwa Mangal Thakur's pastime when he actually he actually poke his eyes and remove. I don't want to get into the whole pastime, and he's just always thinking about Krishna. And Krishna actually disguises himself, and now he's blind, he cannot see. So Krishna, when he comes there, and he asks, who are you? He says, I have many names. People call me with different names. So this is very beautiful in connection with Bilwa Mangal Thakur's prayer. So what is he saying? That the gopis, when they go, they are calling Murari Lelo, Damodar Lelo. They are calling out, forgetting that I came here to sell the milk. I should be asking, here is the milk, please take it. Like, here is the milk which you take it. Here is the yogurt which is take it. But they are just chanting the name of Krishna. They are always thinking about Krishna. This is beautiful pastime which Prabhuji was sharing during the first day of Kartik month when we talk about what is the Sharad Purnima. Thank you. That night, when actually Krishna is leaving gopis, they are feeling separation. What are they doing? They are actually enacting the pastimes of Krishna. And this is very beautifully mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. When they enact the pastime of Krishna, they get a greatest joy of their life. And I think Prabhuji was mentioning, or somewhere I heard, which we was talking about, crying or happiness. They both are contradictory in material world. Either you can be happy, which means you laugh, or either you can cry, which is either you can be sad and you cry. But in bhakti, we see they are so blended well together. Even in tears, there is a greatest joy. Even in separation, there is a highest ananda, which actually gopis experience. So we see he's thinking about it. There is another beautiful bhajan actually, which is taking the mood of Bilwa Mangal Thakur. Actually, give me 1 second. I want to see if it is there. Huh. There is this beautiful bhajan which is there in Gujarati by Narsim Mehta. He is talking about શેરીએ સાદ પાડે છે કોઈએ લેવા મુરારી રે અનાથ ના નાથને વેચે આહારી ની આહારી ની નારી રે ભોળી. That I just want to tell the meaning. Krishna Kumar Prabhu can add more on that. Actually, it's exactly taking the mood of Bilwa Mangal Thakur. What he says, the gopis are going to every lane, every gully. I don't know what is an English word, but every lane. Huh? Alley, yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. So they are going to every alley, and then what are they saying? Please, what are they saying? Murari le lo. Please take Murari. Please take Murari. Anath ne nathav veche. Who is Krishna? He is the consort. He is actually the husband of Lakshmi Devi. He possesses everything. And the Gyanis, yogis are yearning to attain him. And what is Gopi's mood? What is Gopi's credential? What is their position? They are selling Krishna. Can you imagine? Like one time, Narada Muni, when he comes to Dwarka, he says, I want to take Krishna with me. And then the Gopi, the Patnis of Dwarka Patnis, they say, so you know what? You take all the treasure, which whatever we have. Okay. You create a weighing machine. On the weighing machine, you put one side Krishna, on the other weighing side, you put whatever treasure you have. Whole Dwarka is finished. Whole Dwarka is finished. And they are confused. What do we do? And then at that time, another pastime, in Sudama Leela, when Krishna is actually keep eating those rice, the chipped rice, the Rukmini stops. Or if you finish everything, you will give the whole treasure what we have to him. Then where will we live? All the 108 palaces will go away. So the same Krishna, what is Gopi saying? They are selling Krishna. They are putting what is this 14 planetary systems? On top of it, there are unlimited spiritual planets. There are unlimited Vaikuntha planets. And who is a possessor of that? Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that huge, unlimited. Krishna is within the pot of gopis carrying the milk. Krishna says a beautiful line when gopis complain to Krishna after the Ras Leela happens. You know, and there are three questions they ask, why some people do not respond when, some people are going out of way for the person, he doesn't respond. And Krishna gives the answer in various ways about merchants, parents, and then other aspects. He says a beautiful line that I actually went away to sometime the lover is actually doing that stuff to increase the separation. So this is very important aspect. These gopis, Krishna says, I can't repay even for what is that 100 lifetimes of Brahma. What is the exact term? Which is so sorry. Please forgive me about it. I have a short memory. So those gopis are caring, and they are actually selling Krishna. Who is that? The owner of entire cosmic manifestation is just within the part of gopis. So what is the point which we are discussing is about their smaranam is so deep, they are thinking about Krishna and they are talking about Krishna. So ultimately what it comes down to us is, are we passing that smaranam test? Are we passing the test of smriti? What is our consciousness? Are we remembering Krishna? I was just listening to this class. Mataji was mentioning in that class that one time a bank guy was there and he had a badge. He had a badge which said, remind me if I'm not smiling. And they changed it in a way, remind me if I'm not reminding you of Krishna. Wow. His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj one time called to my Shiksha Guru. So Maharaj is in Germany. He is calling in India, and this is way back when ISD calls were very, very expensive. There was no WhatsApp. So he calls, and then my Siksha Guru picks up the phone and he says, who's that? Hare Krishna. So Maharaj says, Hare Krishna, this is Sachinandan Swami Maharaj. Sachinandan Swami. And then Prabhu said, Hare Dandavat Pranam. He said, so my Siksha Guru's name was Bala Govind. Bala Govinda, can you tell me something about Krishna? So my Shiksha Guru was telling, I was doing some service. He received the call. And who is calling? Sachinandan Swami Maharaj is calling. What what would I tell him? He can you share what are you reading? And he actually shared the beautiful pastime. And Sachinandan Maharaj, in response, also shared Krishna Katha. He said, can you promise me one thing? Every time a devotee calls you or you call someone, tell them about Krishna. Wow, really deep. Another pastime, again narrated by Sachinandan Swami Maharaj on Kartik meditation. He says, one time there was a flood in Vrajabhumi. So, news people have no other work, so they went in. They put, and ridiculous question, कैसा लग रहा है आपको? So, if someone asks you that, what would you say? But this guy asked a Vrajavasi, how are you feeling? What do you think? He says, today I'm the greatest fortunate person because Yamuna ji has come to my living room. Wow. Because when Yamuna is over flooded, that Yamuna water, now you may live 4 miles away from Yamuna, 3 miles away. You have to go to Yamuna. But today Yamuna has come to my living room. This is Vrajavasi. This is meditating on Krishna. This is meditating on Krishna and Vrajabhumi. That's why Vrajabhumi is very, very great. I remember there were a couple of days Prabhuji was mentioning about Radha Kund appearance day. What is the power of Rajabhumi? What is the power of that Vrajaraj? What is the power of even that breeze which comes from Rajabhumi? One forgets about drinking, eating, and sleeping. I remember all the devotees we reached to Delhi early morning or whatever is morning, and then we went to Vrindavan. We reached there by late afternoon, whatever it is. We reached there, and that evening we said we are going to do Govardhan Parikrama, and that day is Radhakund appearance day. So imagine you are taking 24, 30 hours flight, you reach there, and on top of it, you commute there, and Jai Shri Radha Gopi Chandana Bhagwan ki Jai, Taipati Tapana Gaurani ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. So what happened there? Sorry, I have a long things to share, so I'll cut it short. We went there. We went to Govardhan and we went to Radhakund, but there was a huge line, and not to Radhakund. This is like few miles away from that. So we said, okay, we will do parikrama and come back. So we finished the parikrama. We came back to Radhakund, and after that, we spent 5 to 6 hours, some of us 7 hours, to actually reach to Radhakund. And after taking a Radha bath in the Radhakund, we reached like at 5 or 6 a.m., excuse me, and then slept. I was just thinking, what is the power of Rajabhumi? That when you enter, you just forget this bodily concept of life. So this is very important aspect around this Maranam aspect of it. The second M, first, what is the first M? Remembering Krishna, which is talking about Smriti, memory test. That is the first one. The second one is about the maintenance test. This is very important. Thinking about Krishna at the same time performing sadhana, performing various aspects of bhakti. It's very easy to come in bhakti, very easy to leave. What is very difficult is maintain. Very difficult. And that too, making a lifetime of commitment. And Rasika Bhuvi Prabhu was sharing beautiful point. One has to experience the sweetness in bhakti. Until we don't experience that sweetness in bhakti, whatever we perform, it becomes monotonous, it becomes artificial. That is why, of course, we do not discuss Krishna's pastimes very elaborately in the classes. There are many, but other than that, actually, one has to read. One has to actually, because the hearing has one limitation. In hearing, you cannot hear about the esoteric pastimes of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. And you cannot hear about other pastimes which are happening in Rasla, because we cannot discuss, because everyone is on different platform, and especially when we give the class, we don't know who is who and where they are. And we want to be mindful and we want to be respectful, because this is not something has to be discussed there. But one has to read and actually meditate on these pastimes. What is happening? Like this, I was just thinking about Dole Dole Gaurachan. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to Vrindavan, what is he doing? What is his consciousness? Even when he is leaving Vrindavan, what is his consciousness? He is in Jagannath Puri and he's seeing Govardhan there. What is his consciousness? So carrying the mood of Rajabhumi, carrying those mood of those pastimes, one has to meditate on these pastimes. So when we talk about the maintenance test, what we talk about, how are we able to continue our bhakti with the same intensity? With the same intensity which we have started with. I remember when I came to Krishna consciousness, our council meet used to start in the morning and would finish in the late evening. So, what to talk about a person who is hosting, which is breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and on top of it, 70 devotees sitting in your house for the entire day, we wouldn't leave. And what to talk about, even those devotees are hosting. When I would host, I wouldn't want those devotees to go because that experience was so condensed. I remember one time for more than an hour, one bhajan we sang. More than 1 hour, 10, 15 minutes. And what is that beautiful bhajan? Radhe Sham, Sham, Sham. What is that? Duryodhan ka bhog na khaya. Sundara Kundala Naya. Are for 1 hour we just kept singing that song. Oh Radhe Sham, Sham, Sham. It will keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. That's the condensed experience. That is the condensed experience. And when we have these experiences, we should actually decorate our heart with such experiences. That wow, what a bliss in Krishna consciousness looks like. And never forget that. The third test is about the mind. What is the mind test we are talking about is we are thinking about the mind is a problem. And mind actually takes us always, Are, why do I have to do that? It's not very difficult. I cannot do these activities. So one has to be actually converting that monkey line mind, converting or thinking mind is like a monkey, we have to make him a monk. Very beautiful line. I really like that one when I heard. So we have to dovetail our propensity thinking about Krishna. When Kunti Devi is leaving, when Kunti Devi is praying to Krishna who's leaving, actually, if you see in Kunti Maharani's life, that is only the time when she actually has gone out of a huge backlog of difficulties. And why finally she is coming here. And what she is saying, this is more difficult time than whatever I pass. Why? Because when I was going through difficulty, you were always there with us. While you are leaving, this is our test. This is our problem. So what is the mind tendency is, this is the beautiful line. Dukh mein sumran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. Right? That is the problem. But the beautiful aspect is, if simran kare dukh ho, if sukh mein kare simran, dukh kahe ko hoye. When we talk about life is an exam, life is a preparation, death is an exam, until we actually develop that consciousness that when we are happy moments are going in our life, how can I actually increase my remembrance on Krishna? I want to share my personal story on that one. During Kartik month, so when Nayan Sundari was with very high sedation, I wasn't on the other side, but by Krishna's grace, I was able to experience what she's going through. High sedation medicine. And she wants to offer lamp every day. Where? In ICU room. For those of us who know what are the ICU limitation, you are not allowed a matchstick there. You are not allowed to ignite any lamp or any of those activities there because the fire can take place. She wants to offer lamp every day. Whatever happens, she is on high sedation. She will wake up exactly at 7 p.m. Exactly at 7 p.m. internal clock. And she'll call because she had her vocal cord disconnected, so she wouldn't be able to talk. She would knock the door, knock the bed, and then I would want to offer the lamp. And she would hear Damodar Ashtakam, she will offer lamp every day, even while at that consciousness. I remember another part when her vocal cord was disconnected, we chant. And when we chant, the first principle is we should hear. Where will I hear? So I told her, Nansuni, and then she had thick pipes on her mouth. But very interestingly, she was not sedated because the doctor said she is able to handle. We haven't seen a patient like that, but she is able to handle. Better to be here rather than on sedation. And I'm just such a fool. I would tell her, Nansundari, we have to chant 16 rounds. How would I chant? I'm like, if there are pipe, the tongue has to vibrate. For tongue to vibrate, there has to be a space in the mouth. There is no space. How are you going to chant? But I would tell her you should chant. And she would chant. And one time she note on the her hands were also shivering. She somehow managed to write notes. Can you beg forgiveness from my spiritual master today? Only I could chant 8 rounds. I didn't cry in front of her. But later I did because I realized, wow, what a high platform. And when I realize now, what a Vaidhi Bhakti Bhakta I am. She's on Raganuga Bhakti platform. And I'm just trying to tell her you should chant. Wow, this is our test. Not easy. When that moment comes, it's very intense. I still remember one devotee, no names here. I'm practicing bhakti nicely. Why does Krishna do this to me? Wow, we failed. We failed. Because bhakti does not mean my material life is going to be perfect. It's very difficult. The fourth test is the moral test. What is that moral test? The moral test is our, in Hindi we have to say, Naitikta ki pariksha. When we take those 4 vows in front of our spiritual master, I want to follow. Very enthusiastically, we go in front of spiritual master. But to follow those principles throughout the life, that's why we say, don't add anything on top of it. Like some devotees say, oh, I will chant 64 rounds, or every Ekadashi I'll chant 32 rounds. Remember, you are going to follow this for whole lifetime. So don't do over promise and under deliver. Better whatever is given, you follow that. You are welcome to add more, not that you should keep it minimum. But that is an important part. The whole life is all about that moral test, which we are talking about, right? What is Maya's propensity? She will not say, don't chant. She will tell, you're tired today, maybe tomorrow. Like I took a vow and I want to confess myself, don't want to hide. I love sweets. What I can do in Kartik month, I will not eat sweets. Not even my daughter was laughing at me. Not even 1 week you could follow. Unfortunate situation. So Maya doesn't tell you, Arey, leave it. No, no. आज एक दिन चलता है. Can you have it today? That's okay. It's okay. You're a pure devotee anyhow. You are not on Vaidhi Bhakti platform. You're Raganuka. You can do anything. That's how Maya test. You don't have to worry about. That's okay. Nobody is watching you. What's the problem? Even when you travel, it's not easy to follow, what to do. It's okay. You do that. Sometimes you're not able to chant 16 on. It's okay to chant on the counter. That's okay. No problem. It's okay. A lot of devotee does it. Like for an example, I remember one devotee when I went. I was new devotee and I came to North Carolina, 2010. And when I came in, there is another pastor which I'll share on that. So I went to one devotee's house. We were staying there. So while he was driving, he had a counter. I never saw a counter before in my life. I'm like, Prabhu, what is that? We want to chant Krishna's name all the time, right? So we chant on the counter. So one time I was there only on North Carolina. There was another devotee friend of mine who came from New Jersey. So we were driving long distance, and I remember, Sola Mala I have to do. So I ordered the counter. I started chanting on the counter, and this Prabhu is very dear to me. We are like friends. He wouldn't mind sharing. Prabhu, क्या कर रहे हैं आप? 16 rounds, you shouldn't be chanting on the counter. I know it's difficult. One time we went for Lansing Rath Yatra. I was not going there, but I was told, Udhar seva hai, please. And I didn't finish my 16 rounds. So I drove there. And I was super busy with the sevas. Rath Yatra went very late and we were coming back. This was almost 11 in the night. I have a lot of rounds remaining. Again remembered, "Arey, what to do? Okay, this is circumstances, how to do it." Shamanand Krishna was next to me. He said, "Prabhu, you park your car, I will drive you chant." Bhakti Tirth Maharaj pastime, when he met with an accident because he would read while driving. A very beautiful phenomena actually Mataji shared. Now I have a choice, material or spiritual. Driving is material and reading is spiritual. I have to leave one. What did Maharaj do? Very amazing actually. He said, I will not drive. Better I'll use. And he said, don't waste time. And we see all our Guru Varga, they are very particular about not wasting our time. Very important aspect coming to this one. The moral test, just want to finish these two aspects. Our four principles. Haridas Thakur was also tested. Ajamil was also tested. Ajamil failed, Haridas Thakur passed. What is this? And then the last one, coming back to mercy. This is the fifth M. What is it? Even if we are able to, a lot of devotees are able to do the first four M's very nicely. Very nicely. But when it comes to mercy, one has to have a patra which doesn't have holes. The patra has to be perfect. There is a very beautiful class by Indradumna Maharaj. 1,000 streams. I think Nishkanchanataya Prabhu or someone shared that pastime. Oh, we had a drama upstairs where Jatila and Kutila wanted to actually prove out they are the most because the arrange. So what is that pot? Pot with 100 holes. So when we come to bhakti, finally pass these four M's, we come to the fifth M. Now I need to have a patra. I need to have a vessel which doesn't have a hole and which can hold. That is where an important aspect comes in. So we see in the example of Bharat Maharaj, what is the level Bharat Maharaj? I'll take another 5 minutes and then we'll finish 5 to 7 minutes. Bharat Maharaj reached to the stage of Bhava. He completely conquered all those four M's. He got attracted to a deer, distracted from his bhakti, and what he landed up with? He landed up with again becoming a deer. So when we get the mercy, one has to actually beg the mercy of the Lord to even hold that mercy. And mercy comes in everybody's life, but it takes, what did it say, mountains of bhakti, mountains of blessings to be precise, to realize there is a mercy flowing. And which is very important. And I remember this aspect when my wife was leaving, not a single time she complained, why me? Ek bar hua, why second time? Not a single time. She realized this is my fifth M now. Krishna's mercy is coming now. Am I patra? Am I the holder of that mercy? And that is an important aspect. We see so many examples in Krishna consciousness and Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahmaji. What is Brahmaji? Brahmaji actually has live interview, live discussion with Vishnu. And he says, you create the whole creation. And he empowers him. He actually shows him the spiritual world, which is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. And he sees that beautiful abode of the Lord. But what happens? Brahma Vimohan Leela. He forgets. I was just sharing about Indra, who has actually Lord Vishnu as his brother. This is there in Gargas, this is in Harivamsha. When actually, very beautiful aspect, when actually Satyabhama asked Krishna, I want Parijat tree. Narada Muni comes, a very beautiful pastime. Narada Muni comes and comes to Satyabhama. He actually comes to Krishna. Satyabhama is there. Are you offered this beautiful flower to your beautiful queen, Rukmini? And Satyabhama was listening. I also want, but I want the whole tree. Krishna says, okay, I'll go and I'll ask Indra. And he goes to Indraji. He's his brother, actually, younger brother. And he asked, he glorifies Lord Indra and he tells, I want Parijatri. And Indra blasphemes Krishna, tells him, who are you to ask me? You know what is the qualification needed to actually have Parijatri? Hare Krishna. And then Krishna says, I'm going to take it. बीवी ने मांगा है पूरा तो करना पड़ेगा. And there is a fight happening between Indra and Krishna on that platform. Then the parents have to pitch in, Are, you are brothers, why are you fighting? So Indra failed that test. Mercy is there. Who is there? Are, younger brother Krishna. Gopakumar's pasting very beautifully mentioned. He says that when he's serving the Lord in person in Vaikuntha, because now in the heavenly planet, he becomes actually, Indra goes, vanishes somewhere, goes and hides in the lake when he performed that sin of killing that Brahmana, Vritrasur. At that time, Gopakumar becomes Indraji. And he says, I got the opportunity to worship him. But sometimes I would actually take him for granted. Very beautiful aspect, he says. And Lord Vishnu, out of his mercy, will again just forgive me for those things. So that is an important test, which is actually, you see in Chota Haridas Thakur. He is an associate of Lord Chaitanya. He makes one mistake, loses the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kalia Krishna Das, right? That's the name?
No. Yeah, the
Krishna.
in South India travel. Oh. Chota Haridas is different.
Chota Haridas. Kalia Krishna Das, who is Bhattataris. He is the personal servant of Lord Chaitanya. Another thing which happens is actually, who is this associate of Lord Chaitanya who hears that there is a boatman, there is Kalia who is dancing on the Yamuna river, and he wants to go and see, and Lord Chaitanya is telling him not to go. I forgot. Please forgive me. Huh? Ballabhadra Bhattacharya. He is now second servant. He says, I want to see. I heard that Kalia is dancing on the Krishna is dancing on the hoofprint of Kalia. And Lord Chaitanya laughed. He is an association of Lord Chaitanya. So that's an important part. So ultimately, what is the Damodar month is? It's about when Krishna is leaving gopis. What are they doing? They are intensifying their love for Krishna. They are intensifying their devotion for Krishna. And they are holding that mercy. And what is the beautiful crescendo when Krishna says this line? I can never repay what you have done for me. Krishna is saying. So ultimately, what is the point is, after all this exam, when you write the paper and when you submit it in front of Shri Radha Gopijana Vallabha, hoping they will review and stamp, your visa is granted to spiritual world. And that is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. When we go through these 5 exams, when we ultimately come to mercy and finally have a patra by following the footsteps of Rajavasis, following their mood, meditating on their leelas, when we come to that final mercy holding test and we submit final question of mercy and put it in front of Radha Gopi Janalabha, by their mercy, one day we will enter to that abode of Golok Vrindavan. So, sorry, I went too over time, so please forgive me about that. Just to summarize what we discussed in today's verse, King Anga got the son, but he was actually the death personified. He was actually, his grandfather was death personified. And he actually ultimately attains, he goes back to God. And this is very beautiful. Prabhupada, right in the purport, that the parents, when the husband and wife are getting married, the male and female are getting married, at the time there has to be matchmaking, and accordingly, one has to actually choose the wife or husband. But irrelevant of whatever you do, I was just thinking about in my life, my marriage life was absolutely perfect. But if material life is imperfect, material world from our perspective is imperfect, then whatever we have, ultimately this material world should give us a realization, I do not belong here. I want to go back home, spiritual world. And we spoke about these 5 M's today. When we talk about these 5 M, when the first one we talk about is Smriti, which is the memory test. The second one we talked about the mind. The third one, which we talked, sorry, second we talked about the maintenance test. Third was the mind. The fourth one, which we talked about, is the moral test. And the last one is the mercy. And finally, when we actually submit that exam paper, we ultimately hope one fine day Krishna will seize our endeavor. Krishna will seize our meager endeavor, but out of his mercy, he will grant that 99 marks and give us the concession. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Samaveda Gaura Bhaktavinda ki Jai. Thank you all, dear devotees. Any comments or reflections? Please forgive me. Today I'm traveling to Vrindavan. I just want to finish with this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would never go to Vrindavan without seeking blessings of all the devotees. One time he went and Gadadhar Pandit was crying and he took the Kshetra sannyas, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to come back and beg forgiveness from him because I displeased Gadadhar Pandit, I could not go. So second time, he again asked, I want to Vrindavan. Devotees kept saying, now this yatra is coming, this festival is coming. They kept extending and they realized Lord Chaitanya wants to go. So I want to seek all of your blessings because Vrindavan is the mood of consciousness. And if one has fortune of going to Vrajabhumi, one has to carry that mood of Vrindavan. So I want to seek all of your blessings that I carry that mood and actually remember these pastimes there. Any comments or reflections? Okay, thank you all.
The bhajan you sang was very, very, very nice actually. It says,
Share something on that. You know Gujarati better than
"Bhoire barwada haline vechwane chali." He says, like this innocent coward girl, she's so immersed in remembering Krishna, that instead of saying, do you want yogurt? Do you want milk? She's saying, do you want Krishna? Do you want Murari? Leva che koine Murari re.
beautiful.
Do you want to buy Murari? And he says, that who is the possessor of all the 14 planetary systems, that girl is putting him into the small little pot,
Yeah,
and she's trying to sell that person.
very beautiful.
So and then the epitome of that is, then everyone is like, you're saying you want to sell, you want to buy Murari, you want to buy Murari. Everyone comes closer to her and says, okay, yeah, we want to buy Murari. Let me see. Where is Murari? And when they open the pot, they're seeing Krishna inside.
Oh wow,
They're
beautiful.
seeing Krishna inside with the flute.
Wow.
That is the power of her devotion and her immersion in Krishna's remembrance.
Wow.
So that in that pot, Matuki ma baithela dekhi ne.
Ah,
Everyone got so amazed by seeing Krishna sitting in the little pot
beautiful.
of that
Wow.
coward girl, coward themselves, or Bharwada, that one who
Yeah.
sells the milk
Yeah.
and yogurt. Very, very sweet, sweet bhajan.
Thank you.
Narsimha.
Thank you, Prabhu. Just for audience here, Krishna Kumar Prabhu was adding on that bhajan of Narsim Mehta. He was just mentioning about when the gopis, they're so innocent when they are selling yogurt, they are calling Murari Murari, and when the buyer would come, they would say, "Show me where is Murari." And then when they open the pot, they show the vessel, they would see Krishna playing the flute, and that is their beauty. Like Narsingadev personally appeared in the pillar to prove out Prahlad Maharaj's words, and that way Krishna would appear. Beautiful. We will end here. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Divyatirtha Prabhu ki
Samaveda Gaura.